Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into Lovesac's latest earnings call. But here's the thing. We're going to skip the prepared remarks and jump right into the good stuff, the Q&A. This is where Wall Street really puts the pressure on. So Lovesac is in a pretty interesting spot right now. I mean, they're actually growing while the entire furniture industry is basically shrinking. And that, as you can imagine, has analysts asking some really sharp questions about their strategy, the risks they're facing, and, what their big picture vision really is. So let's dive in. All right, we've broken down the whole Q&A session into 4 key themes. First, we'll talk about Lovesac's fresh new look. Then we'll get into their snug growth strategy. After that, we'll tackle the profit squeeze they're dealing with. And finally, we'll look at Lovesac's long-term playbook. Okay, first up, a fresh look for Lovesac. Right out of the gate, analysts wanted to know about the company's rebranding efforts. And let me tell you, this is way more than just a new coat of paint. It's a really fundamental shift in how they're trying to reach new customers. So what's happening is they're totally revamping their marketing playbook. They've got a new CMO at the helm, who the CEO called insanely talented, by the way. And a big part of this is a clear shift in where they're spending their money, moving away from old-school TV and pouring it into digital platforms like connected TV and YouTube. And the goal here? It's not just about spending more. It's about being way more efficient and smarter with every dollar. All right, so that brings us to the snug growth strategy. That new campaign we just talked about, it's all built around a product line called Snug. And you gotta understand, this isn't just a rename of their old EverCouch. No, this is a core part of their whole plan for future growth. And here's the tale of 2 products, really. On one hand, you've got their famous Sactionals. The CEO himself called them wildly complex. It's the kind of thing you really have to see and touch in a showroom to get it. But Snug? Totally different story. It's designed to be super simple, something you can easily understand, and importantly, buy online without all that fuss. And that simplicity, well, that's what unlocks everything. Snug opens up brand new doors for them. Think about it. It's perfect for direct online sales. It doesn't need a Lovesac-owned showroom or a specially trained salesperson. This means they can potentially partner with other retailers, both online and offline. It completely changes the game for where and how they can sell. Okay, so this all sounds pretty great, right? A new brand, a new product strategy. But there's a catch, and this is exactly what analysts zeroed in on: the profit squeeze. While sales are growing, their profits are getting hit, and hit hard. So to really understand what's going on, we got to talk about something called gross margin. It's pretty simple, really. It's just the percentage of money they have left from a sale after you subtract the cost of actually making the product. It's a key indicator of a company's health, and right now, Lovesac is definitely feeling the pressure. Management literally called it a perfect storm, and it's hitting them harder and faster than they thought. So what's in this storm? 2 big things. First, you've got rising tariffs. The rates on stuff they make in places like Vietnam and Malaysia nearly doubled. Ouch. And second, the whole home goods market is tough right now, which is forcing Lovesac to offer more and bigger discounts just to compete. So what are they going to do about it? Well, they laid out a 5-point defense plan. It's all about fighting back. They're looking at optimizing their logistics, moving manufacturing to dodge some of those tariffs, adding some new fees and changing policies, and getting way smarter about their sales instead of just doing big site-wide discounts. And that last point, well, it's kind of them crossing their fingers, hoping the market chills out a bit on the crazy promotions. Okay, so after tackling all those short-term pressures, the conversation naturally shifted. It went from how do we survive today to what's the big, ambitious plan for tomorrow. Let's get into Lovesac's long-term playbook. This part was really interesting. An analyst asked about moving beyond the living room, and the CEO, Shawn Nelson, was pretty direct. He said when they do enter that next room, it's going to be in a wholesome way, and, quote, it's not going to be a trickle. So he's basically signaling a huge, game-changing launch, not some tiny experiment. But hold on, that big move into a new room, it's still more than a year out. And as you can see on this timeline, they've got a lot to do before they get there. Over the next few quarters, we'll see more new products for the living room. Then, there's a huge push to move manufacturing to the USA. By the end of the year, they're starting a pilot for customer trade-ins. So, lots of groundwork being laid. And if you look closer at these long-term plans, you can really see the strategy.
The Made in the USA thing, that's a huge passion point for the CEO. The Loved by Lovesac resale platform is already in 6 states. And this new trade-in program, that's about creating a powerful loyalty loop, making it really hard for customers to ever want to leave the Lovesac ecosystem.
Okay, so after all that, what are the final takeaways? What should you really remember from this Q&A?
Takeaway number 1, market position. While the rest of the furniture world is shrinking by about 4%, Lovesac is actually growing. They are swimming against the current and winning market share. That is the single most important piece of context here. Number 2, the Snug product line is absolutely key. Remember, this isn't just about a new couch. It's their ticket to unlocking new sales channels that don't need that complicated in-person demo. It's all about simplifying to grow. And finally, number 3, profitability. For all the excitement about the long term, they are in a real fight right now. Those short-term pressures from tariffs and all the discounts are very, very real, and it's squeezing their bottom line. And all of this really boils down to one huge, critical question. Can Lovesac's ambitious long-term vision of becoming a brand for the whole home actually survive these intense short-term profit pressures? The whole Q&A really highlights that tension. And honestly, how they answer that question is going to define their future. That's all for this explainer.